Now, if you're anything like me, you've probably watched plenty of videos on YouTube about the volume profile, the only indicator you'll ever need. And like me, you've probably done exactly what all of those videos have said and still have not found consistency or profitability. What if I told you that we were using volume profile wrong this entire time? In this video, I'm going to show you a different way to use volume profile that works always. Maybe not always, but the majority of the time. So in this video, I'm going to talk about a completely different way to use volume profile that actually works and actually provides consistency and profitability. So stick around. Let's get into it. Now, before we get started, let me just ask, please hit that subscribe button for me. And if you get something out of this video, hit that like button and share it. Also, if you guys are looking for a completely free trading community, join my Discord. Link is in the description down below. Completely free, will always be free. I don't sell anything. I'm just here to provide a place where we can all come together, learn, grow, and become successful together. Link in the description. And now, let's get back to the video. All right, let's talk about the only indicator that you'll ever need to trade. I use this is the only thing that I use. It's a volume profile, but I use it a little different than the majority of the people out there. Probably a little different than what you have ever seen. So let's jump into the charts and let me show you how we use volume profile. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is throw up the indicator on the screen here, just so that I can show you the settings. Mostly everything stays default settings. I have changed a couple things just to, fit my personality here. So I'm going to go up to indicators and you're going to use volume profile fixed range. Okay, this is important. Most of the videos that I've seen out there talk about using volume profile visible range. That doesn't always work. Okay. And a lot of times, unless you're super familiar with trading already, okay, this doesn't work here. So let's click on volume profile fixed range. All right. Nothing comes up, but what's going to happen is it's going to want you to chart. So you're just going to pick a time, click on the screen, you're going to drag it to a different time, and we'll get into the details of that. And you're going to get your fixed range volume profile on the screen here. Now, initially, you might see two different colors here in the bars. None of that really matters, okay? What you want is to see shaded areas and a darker area somewhere in the middle usually. What this is showing you is this darker area here, shaded area, is where 70% of the volume of trades took place in the time frame that you just set. Okay, it's very important. All right, and then outside of this is the other 30%. All right, so if we click on the indicator here, we go to settings. All right, what you're going to see here is, rows layout, row size. What I do is I put 1,000 in for row size. I leave this on number of rows. Okay, 1,000 volume total, and this is important here. Volume area or value area volume 70. Okay, that is the 70% of the volume, okay, where trades were taken in that time frame that you just set. That is what you call your value area. Okay, again, where 70% of the volume of trades were taking in that time frame. Okay, it's called your value area. And then you're going to have on here, you see this red line here. This is called your PIC or POC, sorry. This, to keep in simple terms, is your fair value. Okay, that is where the majority of your volume of trades took place within that 70%. Okay, point of control is what it's called, POC. So this is a very important line that you're going to want to keep in mind. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to chart all this stuff out here. Okay, so you're definitely going to want to turn on your point of control. Decide whatever color you want. I like everything to be simple. I don't like two different shades, you know, so I just make everything the same. I make sure that I can see my 70% value area very, very clearly. Okay. And then the rest really doesn't matter. Okay. And you can do whatever you want here. You don't need the developing point of control. You don't need any of this other stuff. You need point of control. Okay. And obviously your volume profile. Okay. With this is basically how far you want your indicator to come into your screen. Set it to your liking. I like mine on the left side instead of the right side, and I'll show you why in a few minutes here. Okay, so that's basically the settings. Take a screenshot here real quick if you like. Okay, row size 1000 number, and then value area volume 70. Screenshot. Okay. And then here, same thing. If you want to take a screenshot, volume profile, okay, with this, again, this is all whatever you want to set up. And then your point of control, again, however you want to set that up. Okay. And that's pretty much it. Very simple. This strategy, super, super simple. Super, I'm just kidding. Very simple. Really, really easy to do. Little disclaimer though, you will have to have some idea and some knowledge about price action. Okay, because this indicator gives you key levels, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, and you need to understand price action when the price gets to those key levels. Okay, this video is not going to be about price action. I'll make one of those later on at a different date. Today, we're just talking about this indicator, and if you have a good grasp on price action, okay, using volume down below, then this strategy and this indicator will work no matter what you're trading. All right, cool. So I'm going to get rid of this here now that you have the settings. Okay, what we're going to do, most of the videos that are out there will tell you to plot this out on the day that you're trading. Okay, and or during the time that you're trading. Okay, in other words, if you're trading on July 3rd, okay, uh, you're going to set that on July 3rd. Now, that's the key. What we're going to do is we're going to use this fixed volume profile and we're going to set it up on the previous session, the previous day. Okay. So I trade New York session. New York session is usually where the majority of the volume is in most markets anyway. Okay. So I set my indicator up on the previous New York session. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I'm just going to pick any random day here in the calendar just so that you guys can see that, I didn't preset all this up to make it look real nice and all this stuff. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to pick a day in the calendar. We're going to go back into 2024. Let's do September 12th, 2024. Let's go. Hopefully this doesn't take too long to load. It's important that you start on a 1-minute chart. It doesn't matter if you're not trading on the 1-minute chart, which I do not. I place my trades on a 3-minute chart using a 15-minute chart for confirmation. But setting up this indicator, okay, you do it on the 1 minute, okay? It fine tunes where these key levels are going to be. So important 1-minute chart, previous day session, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And you're going to look for the New York session. Okay. The chart finally loaded. There's a little bit of ridiculousness here. I couldn't go back that far, apparently. So we're on May 15th, 2025. Again, random day. What we're going to look for is, again, New York session. Okay, so we're going to scroll forward here until we can see our 9:30. Oh, I already have it up here. So let me just delete this real quick here so we can do it fresh. Okay. All right. New York session. Scroll out so that you can see the entire New York session here, 9:30 to 4. And here we go. Indicator, volume profile, fixed range. Okay, we're going to come down to 9:30, set our first point, and we're going to go to 4 o'clock, set our next point. Boom. There's your volume profile. Okay, fixed range. So this is telling you that 70% of the volume traded during New York session was in between these 2 points here. Okay. What this is giving you is where price was attracted to and where the majority of the trades happened for the day prior to when you're going to trade, which means this is not a lagging indicator, right? Which is what most of the other indicators are out there. This is historic, right? Beautiful thing, beautiful thing. Now, what we're going to do based on our volume profile here is set key levels. I call them key levels. You're just going to draw some lines on the chart, 3 of them to be exact, so that you can now go into your current trading day and use those key levels for entries and exits. Simple. So here we go. Okay, we're just going to grab a line here. We're going to go to the very top of your dark area. Okay, your 70%. You're marking out your 70% volume, your value area, remember. Okay, we're going to pop a line right on the top of the value area here. I have all mine pre-done here. We're going to call it volume high. Okay, we're going to grab another line. We're going to come to the bottom of your value area, and we're going to call that volume low. And then we're going to grab one more and we're going to line it up with your point of control. This red line here that we talked about before, that is your fair value. Okay, that price point is what fair value was on during that New York session. Okay, and this is based off of historic data, right? This is not I think this is where it's going to, no, this is where price was the day before. Okay, these are the values and the prices that were important the day before. Watch how well all of this lines up for the current session. Okay, we're going to call this one volume profile control. That's it. Now, fast forward into current day, right? We're going to say that this is current day. This is what day it actually is. So we set up our volume profile on the previous day. We set our lines based off of that volume profile. Fast forward. Look at, even in early sessions, Asian session, European session, look at how well price works off of these key levels. Look at this. Okay, this, I just picked a day and I'm showing you guys as I'm fast forwarding here how well these key levels work, because this is historic data. It's not a lagging indicator. It's not some line on the screen that's going to just change directions real quick. It's not, MACD and all this. All of that is lagging data. Okay. This is historic data. I'm telling you, this works almost always. Almost always. As long as the price is inside of that range or just around that range of your value, okay? This is going to give you entries and exits all day long. All day long. Check this out. Look at all of this. Okay? And again, you have to have some understanding on price action in order to understand when to get in at these key levels. Okay. But check this out. All right. So let's go to New York session. All right, I already have another one of these plotted out here. Let's get rid of this one real quick so we can see a little clearer. Okay. New York session on the current day that we're trading. Okay. Based off of these key levels now. Look at this. Even right at market open, with all this volatility, look at how well these lines stand up. This is where price is attracted to based on the levels from previous day. Okay. That's why this works. That's why this works so well. And it doesn't matter what instrument you're trading, because this is based off of the volume and price points that were important on the immediate day, previous day. Okay. This is, it doesn't get any easier than this in trading. I'm telling you, other than you having to learn some price action, all right, you can make really great trades here. All right. This is beautiful stuff. And we're within the range here. Price is attracted to these key levels all day long. Just like I said, look at this, right? A break above. We even waited for a retest. Here's your price action that you're looking for. Okay. You can see the liquidity here with these wicks. Okay. Volume building down here. We have this really nice bullish close off of this key level, and boom. This 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 is how you use volume profile, and it works almost always. As long as you understand price action and you're not just willy-nilly setting trades, okay? You have to understand price action in order to understand when to get in, right? You're obviously not getting in on any of these, okay? Price is just consolidating here, but look at where it's consolidating, right at this price point, right at this key level. Until you get some solid movement at the key level with volume. Okay, nice little volume push here on this candle. There you go. Now you know price is most likely going up to the next key level. That's exactly what it does. This happens every day, every day. Now, every once in a while, price moves in Asian session or European session, or even during the New York session, it moves way out of your value area from the previous day. That's okay. I'm going to show you how to mitigate that too, whether you're above or below. So real simple here. Okay. Quick little recap. Okay. Whatever day you're trading on, you go to the previous trading session, okay? New York session, because that's where the majority of the volume is. You're going to set your fixed volume profile from 9:30 till 4, okay? And you're going to draw your 3 key levels. That's it. Come back to your current day, and you're going to trade based off of those levels. And you wait until you get to those levels, okay? This is where patience comes in, and this is where you have to wait, okay, for your key levels to be hit. All right. Now, let's talk about what we do if price isn't within our fair value or our value area from the previous day. Okay. It's real simple. I'm going to pop out to a larger time frame. Okay. So let's take, for example, now we're up in all-time highs here, but let's take, for example, okay, here's a good one here. Here's our volume profile. Let's say this is the day that we're trading. You can see how price just bumped right up, okay, on the next day open and just continued to climb. We were never anywhere near where our value area would have been. So how do we trade that? Well, it's really simple. And again, this is what makes this strategy and this indicator so great. Scroll back until you can see a time where a volume profile, okay, matches where price is. Let's see if we can find one here. And it doesn't matter how far back you have to go. A few days ago, as we were reaching all-time highs, I was trading key levels off of volume profiles that were back in December of 2024, and it hit. The lines hit. I'm telling you, this is the only way to trade volume profile. Now, I don't have a volume profile on the current day that I'm trading. I only use those key levels. The volume profile is set on the day before, or however far, back we have to go. So let's see here. We're going back pretty far on this one. see if I can find you guys another example. Here's another example. Okay, here's volume profile. Let's say this is the day that we're trading here. As long as you can see this, you can see that price moved pretty far away. Okay, but if you scroll back, you have volume profiles that are pretty close to where your price was actually working out. So you go back to this day, you set same thing, set your volume profile, set your key levels, and fast forward back to your current day, and you will see that those key levels still work. They still work. Those price points, okay, those are what the big players are looking for. Okay, that's what they were looking for in the past. Those are still going to be important prices to them current day, whatever you're trading. And I'm telling you, it works. It works almost always. There's no such thing as always. There's no such thing as 100% in trading. But this is an edge. This is an edge. I promise you. So try that out. If you guys have any questions, okay, hit me up in Discord. Leave a comment down below in this video. So that, to me, is the only way to use volume profile to have consistency and to give you profitability. Now, I'm going to say this again. You cannot just use those 3 lines and place trades the minute price gets to those key levels. You have to have some knowledge in price action and volume with that. Okay, my strategy is price action with volume at those key levels. I don't trade outside of those key levels. I don't trade in between the key levels. I wait until price gets to those key levels, and then I wait for the proper signal based on price action and volume. And then I make my entries. I set my exits based off of other key levels, and it works. It works. I have been able to pass multiple challenges, both with Top Step and with Alpha Futures, Alpha Capital, using this strategy only. And now I'm at a point where I can pass these challenges in 2 days. Okay. It's really, really simple. I don't use any other indicators on my charts. As you can see here, again, I trade in a 3-minute time frame. I set my executions in a 3-minute time frame. Okay. My charts are clean. I don't use any other indicators other than these key levels. I tend to leave some of the previous day key levels so that I have it's basically support and resistance. It's the most simple way of trading, and it works every time. But instead of you looking for what you think support and resistance is, okay, this is giving you what the market, okay, what the big players are using as support and resistance. So it's an edge. Try it out. This is the right way, in my opinion, to use volume profile. It's the only way to use volume profile. Keep your charts clean, keep it simple, and you will find some real consistency and then profitability with this strategy. Let me know how it works out for you guys. Join the free Discord. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And again, if you got something out of this video, if you got some value, I would appreciate a like and a share. Have a good one. We'll see you guys in the next video.